The innate nature of humanity, between compassion and selfishness. Hello everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join the path to self-realization. Today, I am deeply honored to explore with you a profound and perplexing topic that many have pondered: the nature of human beings. Are we inherently noble souls? Or are we simply naturally selfish individuals? On this journey, I will share stories, personal experiences, and philosophical insights about life, hoping that through these reflections, you will find a sense of tranquility and wisdom amid the hustle and chaos of modern existence. When we were children, each of us was often told that human nature is inherently good. Childhood is a time filled with love, gratitude, and faith in sincere relationships. We remember our very first days in school, when every smile from our teachers or warm handshake from our friends served as an affirmation that the world was brimming with compassion. In those memories, the image of humanity appears pure and perfect, as if every relationship only needed to be nurtured with love and sincerity, without concern for personal gain. I am no exception. Those simple moments once provided immense inspiration, reinforcing my belief that human nature is fundamentally a symphony of noble emotions. But as we grow up and step into the world of adulthood, everything gradually changes. The initially simple and pure relationships become intertwined with the complex realm of personal interests. Friends, lovers, colleagues, even those closest to us, can sometimes force us to confront betrayal and unforeseen conflicts. You might lend money that is never repaid. A lover may leave due to being far away, or conflicts of interest can shatter bonds that were once unbreakable from childhood. As we witness actions that starkly contradict the lessons we learned in our early years, our hearts slowly fill with confusion, disappointment, and an indescribable sorrow. This inevitably leads us to ask ourselves, if humans are inherently good, why do major religions require countless strict rules? Why must we establish laws and rigid codes of conduct to deter and prevent wrongful behavior? In Buddhism, for instance, there are directives such as not taking life, refraining from eating meat, and avoiding improper actions. If people were truly noble by nature, would such constraints be necessary to regulate behavior? In my view, the essence of human nature is not purely virtuous but rather a complex blend of love and innate selfishness. The existence of laws and ethical guidelines serves as evidence of this intricate balance. It is fascinating to observe the most instinctive actions of newborn babies. Those little ones, just beginning their journey in life, know nothing but their raw, natural emotions. They simply operate on the principle of, if it benefits me, I live; if it harms me, I perish, without needing the guidance or admonitions of adults. Such natural behavior, though seemingly crude, vividly demonstrates the self-centered instinct inherent in every human being. This is not an indication of evil, but rather an expression of a spontaneous, unfiltered life that has yet to be shaped by society and education. To further clarify the issue, imagine a 5-year relationship between me and Emily, a woman with a warm soul and an abundance of passionate love. Throughout that time, perhaps I never truly experienced the sincere emotions that Emily offered me. In reality, I chose to be with her out of loneliness and for the comfort of being cared for, even though it wasn't genuine love but rather a temporary solace for my soul. In contrast, Emily seemed to pour all her heart into our relationship, from walking several miles to buy chicken soup to saving every last penny to support me. Every action of hers carried the belief that merely being by the side of the one she loved would naturally fill her life with happiness. From the standpoint of traditional morality, one might easily conclude that I was cold and selfish, while Emily was the embodiment of sacrifice and compassion. However, the reality is far more complex. Despite the outward appearance that Emily did everything for me, in my view, her every act was ultimately aimed at satisfying her own emotional needs, to feel happy and secure. Imagine a simple bowl of chicken soup. To me, it was just a daily meal, but to Emily, it symbolized comfort and a sincere love that she bestowed upon herself. This story makes me wonder, who is truly happy? Is it possible that in our relationship, I lived in misery and loneliness, while Emily fulfilled all her own emotional desires? From that point, I came to a rather bitter truth: human nature is neither entirely good nor wholly evil. but rather a blend of both elements, love and selfishness. Each of us carries our own formula, where the degree of selfishness is shaped by our circumstances and relationships. Without the competition for personal gain, people can shine with noble qualities. But as soon as individual interests emerge, the innate selfish instinct rises, making relationships complicated and, at times, painful. Remember, life is not solely about lofty moral values, it is also a fusion of personal interests and social relationships. I still recall my mother's family, a mother with 6 siblings, where 4 of the sisters decided to buy a piece of land in the countryside to build a shared home for their old age. Although born from the same womb, each person carries unique traits, with inescapable strengths and weaknesses. Over time, conflicts over interests gradually surfaced, straining even the closest bonds. I tried to reassure my mother, saying that minor conflicts are inevitable in life. However, experience has shown that when significant interests come into play, even the strongest ties can shatter in an instant. Throughout human history, there has been no shortage of tragedies and disasters wrought by greed and selfishness. From the brutal power struggles of ancient kings to the heartbreaking turmoil of families torn apart by disputes over inheritance, all serve as evidence of the eruption of human nature when personal gain is prioritized. I still remember the horrifying murder case in Liverpool, where a teenager named John, in a disturbingly righteous manner, ruthlessly killed a child over a trivial conflict of interest. Though heartbreaking, that story reveals a harsh truth. When personal interests become overwhelming, people can lose their compassion and turn so cruel that they transform into monsters. From personal experiences and everyday stories, I have come to believe that each of us carries an inner substance in which selfishness quietly persists. If we place absolute trust in others, with the hope that everyone is inherently good, then even a minor betrayal can shatter us. Conversely, if we always maintain a prepare for the worst outlook, anticipating that nothing is perfect, we will be less vulnerable and better able to protect ourselves. This perspective applies not only to personal relationships but also to marriage. Many couples enter marriage with a belief in a fairy tale love, promising to stay together forever. Yet when challenges arise, when difficulties and instability creep in, they can easily become tense, even turning into mutual resentment. In my opinion, instead of dreaming of a perfect relationship from the start, we should prepare ourselves for hard times, accepting that no one can live completely without some degree of imperfection. This approach not only helps us maintain inner freedom but also minimizes deep hurt when life does not go as planned. In modern society, even though we are taught, "Don't be selfish," inherent selfishness remains an inseparable part of being human. The reality is that no matter how much you try to live for others, every action we take ultimately aims to satisfy our own needs. Some people help others simply to feel like a good person, while others smile or cry just to soothe their inner pain. Looking back, many of these noble actions carry the unmistakable mark of self-interest, of innate selfishness. This is not something inherently evil, but rather a part of the process of growing up and becoming self-aware. Another vivid example is the story of a struggling single mother who fought to raise her 2 children, a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. On cold afternoons, when the 2 children clung to each other for warmth, their mother had to spend the entire day working to earn a living. When the meal was finally served, each pair, the only treat their mother could bring home, was carefully shared from one hand to another. However, from a psychological perspective, this act of sharing was not only driven by moral lessons but also served as a way for the children to seek a sense of security, acceptance, and love. Even in the most noble moments, the inherent self-centered nature remains clearly evident. And finally, when we reflect on life, as if riding a one-way train that never returns, we come to realize that being a little selfish, in the sense of valuing oneself, is not wrong at all. What truly matters is that when we leave this world, we have no regrets. I believe that if everyone learns to cultivate their selfishness in a refined way, without letting it turn into greed and malice, people will become freer, happier, and live more fully with themselves. Through these stories, from the relationship between me and Emily, to family upheavals and social tragedies, I hope you can see the stark truth of human nature. that people are inherently selfish. And it is this selfishness that shapes every action and every relationship we have. Let your heart remain awake, not allowing trivial emotions to control you, but learning to cherish yourself in every moment. Thank you for joining me on this journey towards self-realization. If these reflections have touched your heart and mind, please like, share, and subscribe to The Path to Self-Realization, so you don't miss the upcoming videos. Every view is not only a tremendous source of encouragement, but also a reminder that no matter how challenging life may be, we can always find peace, wisdom, and clarity in every decision we make. Live in your own way, cherish yourself, and embrace everything with an open heart. I wish you all the joy, serenity, and invaluable lessons in every moment of your life. See you in the next videos, where we will share, reflect, and grow together day by day.